Continuing on from where we left off. It's Rehearsal Pro, KMP, Kotlin Multiplatform, KMM, Kotlin Multiplatform Mobile. Do I need to recap anything? I think you can watch the beginning of the others if you care to know what's going on. Otherwise, let's just flow on as if we're all in sync. Replicate line set. This is the old Objective-C code from download, and we're rewriting it in Kotlin. Okay, we've already done this. Let's see. Domain line set, replica same, line set. All right, my brain needs to re-engage. I didn't warm up for this video, so I'm warming up now. I believe this checks the entire thing. In fact, let's compare here. Let's go ahead and just pull this out. Oop. There we go. Pull that out. We'll go side by side here. So we're now in just Kotlin land. Not thinking about the UI. We're just thinking about the domain over here, which is pure, and the replication logic, which is impure. Impure, because it has to deal with networking, files, things like that. Very side effect-y sorts of things. Here's our domain line set replica same, which looks at the top domain data using the generic function to simply compare its replicas, and then cascades, traverses, digs deep down into its line scenes, line set lines, to determine if they need to be replicated. So up here, we do the main call, which does everything. And if that says it's the same, we do nothing. Otherwise, we start downloading. We present the HUD. I called this HUD, but I really should have called it progress, because on the iOS side, it's called progress HUD. Heads up display, progress indicator, we'll leave it as it is. Okay. So now we're changing from, we know we're going to be downloading something. We just don't know if it's at the top or at the bottom. So if the top of this, which is the metadata for the line set, because that's what we're saying, line set, just line set. Really wondering if I should change these to kind of all and not all. I am going to have to break this stuff apart. But if it's not the same, then we're going to go out and actually get the metadata. And that's pretty much what this old code does here. Get scene list for script. Download cloud line set. Now this logic already exists elsewhere. So now we are going to look at the iOS side, because originally, that's pretty good. That's the department of redundancy department. Go back to core data with this whole major task started. Script, scene, script scenes, JSON. Yeah, in fact, it looks like that's what's being called here, right? Script scenes, JSON to initialize it, but it makes a network call here first. So the network call is made before here. And now we're saying go out and make the network call. So the beginning of our rewrite from core data to dictionary files, we didn't interfere with the current networking on that side. We catch it after the network call. In fact, let's just set a breakpoint here so we can see what's going on. This is happening as a result of the synchronizer. So I still want to defer to the iOS side for networking because that is not being made multi-platform yet. So this is going to be a platform function. We're not going to return false. What are we going to do here? We want to delegate get scene list for script. Network manager. Let's do a find grep and see where this occurs. What's the name of it? Let's copy that. And we want to search all files because that looks like an Objective-C call. So it could be used in Swift. It could be used in Objective-C. So we're going to do all files. This is just the grep syntax. All right. It only gets called by the line scene synchronizer, which is what we're disabling here. Really? Well, yeah, it's only getting called by the code that we reproduced. So nobody else talks to this. This is entirely within the network manager. Huh. So what about script scenes JSON? Oops. Script fetch. Okay. So basically 2 points of entry to init with JSON. One from the script fetch, which is our initial call, and one from the synchronizer. I'd like to commonalize that logic. Right? So here we make this call to get scene list for script. This is the thing we're rewriting over here. But let's look at script fetch. I see script plus fetch, but script fetch is under UI app. And that's because everything in core data depends only on core data or something lower level than it. But UI app has code that is tied to the app. And script scenes JSON. There we go. This was the beginning of our long journey here. So let's look at the actual network calls before it gets here. Script fetch. Wow, look at all that. Hoo. Wow. Let's go back up to the top here. Nope, only used here. After what? Ooh, look at that. Script fetch starts at the top. It starts at scripts and goes all the way down to everything. Save, fetch request. Wow, look at all this mutable array. I didn't write any of this. Is there a network call in here? No, there's no network call in here. Script fetch does not call the network. or it does it in a different way. Save server scenes and groups to DB. This is coming from what? Where is that coming from? We can search. We can also set a breakpoint and see what's going on, but let's do a search first. Called my nobody? That doesn't seem right. Can't be called by nobody. It's called by somebody. I see a declaration implementation. Is this something where those parameter names get mangled into the operation names? Yeah, see this? Look at this crap. This makes searching difficult, right? This weird bridge where a named this name angling between Objective-C and Swift. Swift wants to push the name, which is changed from capitalized to Pascal case to camel case here. Pascal case here. Yeah. Yuck. Okay, my scenes parser. So our network call is being made far up. This is all parsing, it looks like. Fetch local groups. Is there any networking going on in here? Maybe I need to say at work. No. Okay, let's just set a breakpoint. This is getting to be too painful. Try to dig through this code and read it mentally. Let's just start the program and see where we go. Now this is called as a result of the synchronizer, which happens periodically on a timer as a background process. So it's not necessarily going to be called right at the beginning. Oh, it's going to try to compile Kotlin and fail. This is going to fail. Yeah. That's going to fail on out. So let's just move this up here for the time being. Oh God, it reformatted. Did you see that? Oh, I hate you. I hate you. I'm using Vim, just line, cut and paste, and this damn thing reformatted. I do not like this IDE at all. People swear about JetBrains, but just IDEs, they're each is its own little walled garden and how it works, and you've got to relearn it. And certainly not going to use Android Studio / JetBrains for everything I do. So why would I want to relearn it all? At some point, I need to bail out of this IDE and do this from Emacs or Vim, something standard. So yeah, that compile didn't work. So I tried to go out and compile the Kotlin, and I wrote incomplete code there. Didn't like it. Pretty sure that should work. Downloading, and then it shutters it. Okay, it's compiling, it's building, it's going to run, it's going to hit our breakpoint. Hopefully, we're going to see the logic of all this. What is the logic? Is there a way I can get rid of this window if I don't need it? Usually there's little side tabs that allow you to get rid of the side windows. I don't think it's going to do that. Wow, starting up slow. Oh, there, look at that. Okay, that worked. Okay, there we go. We hit the breakpoint. So how did we get here? Main, my scenes parser, dispatch queue, start, my scene synchronizer. Okay, so the scene synchronizer. Interesting, it gets called on the scene synchronizer and not the script synchronizer. There's these two synchronizers that the legacy code starts up sets them on timers that just go out and periodically poll the back end to see if there's any updates. That logic needs to change. That's very inefficient for a couple of reasons. We'll get into that later. So we call parse, which must happen after the start network manager. Okay, here we go. So this is one call that gets us into the, and this is the other. A F network manager gets scene list for script versus RS network manager gets scene lists. So here we've got two variations on legacy code that essentially do the same thing. Scene list for script, scene lists network manager. Isn't that nice? Duplicated, probably not very much the same code, unless one delegates to the other. Let's find out. So RS Network Manager, it's going to be under Alamo Swift, I believe. There it is. Get scene lists. Get scene list. Nope, it does its own completely separate call, post URL. And then for this other guy, we go to AF Network Manager, Objective-C, and call get scene list for script. Maybe this will delegate up. That would be nice. AF Network Manager is here. And now, there we go. It does its own. Duplicated Swift code, Objective-C code. Swift code, Objective-C code. Original author of the Objective-C code, Rusan, around 2016. Author of this code, Ruslan, 19. So instead of Rusan, it became Ruslan. Maybe it's the same guy with two different handles. Don't know too much of the history of this. Huh. Well, that's not fun. If I switch over to using the Swift one, I run the risk of breaking working behavior, because there might be some subtle differences between the two, right? Here's the Swift version. Let's take a look. Can we pull it out? Pull out. You can do that in Android Studio. I thought we could do it here. Pull out. No, I guess we can't do that. There's some way to do this. Oh well. Both of these IDEs are miserable. That's not what we're looking for. Oh, there it is. Okay. Get scene list for script. I'm sure it's calling the same URL. Get scene list parameter success failure failure. Get list. Look at that. URL get scene list. URL scenes get list. Parameters. Last updated. Same thing. It looks like a success lambda's passed in for this one. Success and a failure lambda's passed in for this one. Was there a failure lambda here? Yes, yes. It's just formatted weird. Can't tell. So success, failure, success, failure. Let JSON list last updated 0. See, there's a difference here. That's a difference. That's a difference. That's a difference in behavior. Wow, that's going to be fun. I'm guessing that this is an assumption that because this get seen list on the Swift side is only being called from the synchronizer, and the synchronizer only cares about new changes and updates, last updated. So our JSON's going to be restricted here. We're doing a filter. It says map, but really this is a filter, right? No. I'm not sure what this is doing. Mapper, map. Yeah. Ugh. How complicated this is. And I don't know about the script ID. Script. This one assembles some parameters from the script. This one has some other call that it makes. Wow, it's like these two things were written in a vacuum. This was written without looking at the old code. No attempt to reuse anything, no attempt to consolidate. This is where dry matters. There's a lot of blowback in the industry right now against dry, saying it's taken to an extreme. But this is an example of what happens when you don't dry. We have two duplicate functions, procedures, which are methods of classes in this case, ostensibly performing the same service, but written and implemented in entirely different ways. I've got to use the one that's originally being written. So I'd like to generalize it, but for now, we're just going to delegate. So how much of this do we delegate out? We don't want to necessarily make this call. Remember, by the time we get here, we want the line set already set up in our. This is the logic we're going to rewrite, this comparison of dates. So by the time we get here, this is the stuff we're rewriting for now. Okay. Should we call it fetch? What do we have for our Android? What are I looking at? Android. This is all in common. Let's look at our current set of procedures. Load files, present, read, preserved, at state. We don't have anything specific. We have established networking, established the synchronizer, but we don't have any specific calls for networking here. I don't want to just say fetch because that's, I want to prefix it, kind of put the networking stuff together. So I say network fetch. Network, remote. What are we calling the replica? Remote versus local. Let's say remote. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to call this remote. Remote fetch, because there will be a remote push, remote get remote. I prefer to say remote get. Let's actually, I mean, we're using REST here. Fetch Notice how fetch is also used for core data. But it doesn't always imply a network call. So we're going to say remote get, yeah, line set scenes. Line set lines. It's the original, whoops, what's the original one called? Scene list for script. Line set script. Script scenes. Over here it's scene list. Get scene list. Yeah, that's what the actual, let's see if we can actually jump to the definition here. God. Oh, that's because it's Objective-C. Doesn't like it. Let's see if we can do it from Swift. And there it is. Get scene list. Get list. Scenes get list. This is really helpful. Huh. Wrapping this in structs rather than just having a bunch of flat constants. What do we get from this? Having separate structs. Why? Where's the benefit? These could be flat constants just prefixed with scenes. I mean, we've already got it. Get scene list, get scene list. Scenes get list. Putting these in structures does what? Struct. This is probably in what? Web constants. KW, constant web. Struct. Static. These are just namespaces. What's the advantage here? This is a form of clustering, mental clustering. If I see the same prefix on a bunch of flat names, it also clusters for me. I think I used to do this sort of thing. I used to overly namespace things. I mean, that's what this is. These are just namespaces. Using a struct as a namespace because Swift lacks namespaces? Probably. It's confusing. I look at a struct and I think this is a data structure, but this is not a data structure. I mean, static let, yeah, that's data. It is structured, but these are compile time constants. Its actual structure in memory is irrelevant. It's not going to be used in a structural manner. It's not like instances of this structure are going to be allocated, passed around. It's just namespacing. This is really clunky. Sort of thing. I don't know that it would have set off the kind of red flags in my brain that it does now. I'm so sensitive to unnecessary boilerplate and complexity. This is added complexity, and I don't see what it buys us. I don't see how this is helping the 7 plus or minus 2 of the human brain. Really don't see it. It's like UI design when you have buttons that have excessive numbers of boundaries, you know, like a double border around a border or with a shadow under a border. Good UI designers talk about how this kind of redundant boundary just becomes visual noise. That the arrangement of things like a set of common prefixes will form its own mental clustering. I think I'm rationalizing. Okay. Where were we? How did I go off on a tangent there? Okay, remote. We're naming this. We're calling it remote. Get script scene list. Because that's what the actual backend call is. Let's look at that again. Scenes get scene list. But Well, I guess we'll just say get scene list. Get scene list, get scene lists. Wow. Are there really two separate backend calls for that? Huh. This is probably the call when we go over here to scenes. And this get scene list is probably the call made from a singular script, right? A script, it gives me a single list. Scenes is going to give me a catalog of all the existing scenes, which obviously are tied to scripts, but we're not doing a get based on a single script in this case. That's what I'm going to guess. So when we look at this, where was it? Script fetch? No, it wasn't a script fetch. RS Network Manager. Get scene list. This one, get scene list for script. That's actually a better name, really. But I'm going to match the backend call and just call it get scene list. Get scene list. Let's just do that. I mean, what's coming back at us? I don't know what's coming back at us at this point. Well, script scenes JSON. Okay, let's just do this. We obviously have to pass in the line set script. So this is where line set requires a back pointer to its script. We're not going to find it here. I think we have to pass in the script separately in order for this to work. Why are we doing this again? We're doing it because we're finding that our line set, remember there's multiple line sets in a script. This particular line set is not the same. It's replica remote, replica local do not match. And we're not throwing in the script. Do we have script ID inside the line set? Can we reuse that? Should we reuse that? Or should we just pass it in? We could pass it in as part of replicate, most likely, because we're already inside a script. We have the script. Well, let's take a look. What do we got? No. We're only keeping the JSON. The only dictionary entries we're adding beyond what comes from the back end from this this dictionary is the replicas. So we're not shoving the script ID in here. That happens on the core data side, provides a back pointer to its parent. So I'm thinking we need to change this to pass in script ID. Script ID. Let's make it a string. I don't need the whole script. I just need the ID. Script ID. Okay. And I am going to need to pass in success and failure. Yeah, this whole thing is a success. Failure's down below something else, and we're rewriting that. So yeah, I am passing in lambdas for success and failure. Okay. This is yucky. Get, what did we call it? Get scene list. I think I prefer to say get script scene list. I like this distinction. It's going to take script ID. Oh, because this is Shutter. Yeah. Yep. It's going to have these two. Oh, we're going to have to break our line here. It's starting to get a little messy. This platform procedure is probably not going to stay in its current form. So Shutter takes a callback, takes a continuation to completion. We're going to need two of these. Something looks weird here. Oh, okay, that's what looks weird. Yep. Beep. All right, these are the parameters. That's the return. Oh, we broke up the beautiful table here. All right, app mutant string, which pretty sure I can't put label names in here, but I guess I could comment it, script ID. Yeah. And this is going to be completion, success and failure. Failure. I think it's this is obviously going to need to provide scene list. And this is going to provide, let's see what the current looks like. Takes a task and a dictionary. Ugh. Let's look at this one. Whoop, nope. Task and a dictionary. This is for concurrency. So yeah, provides a dictionary or provides a string. All right. Yeah, we can do that. So our dictionary is our map string to any. Still specifically marking the type, the concrete type, rather than using an alias. I kind of prefer that. And string failure. Did I like that? Kind of see it line up. We can put this on the same line. Well, that just made that a lot more complicated, but this is temporary because this will eventually get refactored. Well, a lot of these will get refactored onto the multi-platform side, but I'm going to put a to-do in here. Yeah, refactor to multi-platform. Right now we are, well, platform independent, but multi-platform, yeah. Right now it's not. Well, technically that is multi-platform because we're sending it to platform independent. Wish there was a shorter word for that. Portable? No. That's what I've been calling it for a long time. Platform independent. Okay. This is what we're doing. Wow, just to, oof, it's a lot of work. Okay. We need closures. Oh, we need our AM, our app mutant, script ID, and then the closures. Yeah. So our first closure looks like this. Our second closure is going to look like this. And right now, okay, so we can get rid of this. Oh, God. There's got to be a way to turn that off. That is just epically annoying. There's got to be a way to stop that from happening. Maybe if I copy and then delete. Jesus. Wow, that is just nightmarish. All right, so this long block is a success block. And the failure is, looks like here. And as soon as I do this, it's going to reformat, isn't it? No. Thank God. Yeah, okay. So let's move this over. So that kind of lines up. This whole block is a success. In other words, this is kind of our callback hell. This is our long continuation of many more other things we're going to do after. This is success. Yeah. And then failure is here. So it's the old code for failure. This is interesting syntax. This will be just our generic error reporting. I don't need this end if, and let's see what we got closing. Yeah, see this long, I do not like these long open blocks. Not a fan of that. So we have an if, and in, all right, this is the whole body of this, most of this stuff. I think this is another, yeah, this is a separate function. Don't worry about that a little bit. This is going to screw me, isn't it? No, okay. It's when you paste in the block comments that it goes for the full reformat. There's got to be a setting to disable that. That is super annoying. So I think we can get rid of this because we don't need the opening. Although some programmers will holler and scream that you should always put the braces in so you can insert printf sandwiches. I mean, that's the argument. You know what? I'm going to actually do that in this case. I don't really gain anything by leaving it out. Formatting style, formatting preferences. Okay. See, it's so long you can't really see where the end is, right? Some IDEs will collapse this and expand it, but now you're depending on IDE functionality to be able to understand your code. Of course, Vim and Emacs probably do that as well. So there's a success, and our success it's going to pass us our dictionary, which is our, what are we getting? Scene list. All right. Isn't that kind of what it looks like in I believe that is the correct syntax. I could be wrong. And this one is error. String. Let's just call it error string for now. That's obviously wrong. Okay. I'm just going to do nothing. We'll just see if this compiles. So we got an error string here. We're going to scene list there. Error string here. Yeah, the formatting's a little weird, but the thing is, if I indent this one, then this whole thing's going to have to indent over one more. Double indent. And it's already pretty indented. Yeah. We'll keep it up there. This is our success. Of course, I could put that comment in there as a success, but I think that's pretty obvious. It's our continuation. Okay, I said I'll probably rewrite this anyway. I do like having sometimes parameters on the arguments on the next line, just because it makes it easier to read the actual method call here. Well, this is function value. It's like easier to see that. But again, it's like a stylistic choice. Do I want to have a full indent all the way over? I really don't like doing that if I can help it. All right, let's see if this compiles. See what kind of syntax errors we're going to get on this. Okay, commas. Yep, we need that. Now, one of the things that's weird about Kotlin, at least in data class declarations, is you can have a comma on the final item and it will just ignore it as a convenience so that you can add items. It's like an editing convenience. Most languages are going to gripe when you have a list of items and you have a comma without some item following the final comma. Most are going to treat that as a syntax error. But Kotlin is weird. I wonder if it does the same thing with arguments. Can I put an excessive comma in here? Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think it didn't like that. Oh, no. It does. It's okay with that. Yeah, this is a little Kotlin quirk. This is one of those things that you can see language designers are like, oh, this would be kind of a cool little feature. And then it goes against the grain of a lot of other language. I'm not saying every language should be designed to follow the patterns of another's. I mean, I'd be the biggest hypocrite in the world because I'm not doing that. But you need to measure the worth. Because someone coming from almost any other language would look at that and go, well, that's going to be a syntax error because I don't have another item following that comma. Well, let's do it the Kotlin way. Let's keep it all Kotlin. All right, but it needs 4 arguments. So, yeah. These are just dummy functions that do nothing. Why do we have F in here? Why don't we do that in here? At mutant, function you pass. That's interesting. Oh, that's the body. Okay, yeah, 2 functions. So we'll say S for success, F for failure. The default is it's going to return an at mutant. We don't want the default to do anything other than return the at. We don't actually want it to call the passed in arguments. That's interesting. If I look at this on Shutter, if I call the default, it's going to actually execute this continuation function. Interesting. Okay, I guess we could do that. We'll just call success. By default, we'll say it succeeds. The default should be a no-op. It shouldn't do anything. But it's going to pretend that it succeeded. Maybe the default should error. Huh. Let's actually say fail. Should we say fail? I mean, it doesn't matter. This is going to be replaced by an actual platform function, but this is a default lambda. Yeah, why not? Doesn't matter that much. It's never going to be called. All right, that should take care of that signature. Now, what do you not like? Parameter 2. Oh, it needs a string. It's just fail with nothing. I'm almost tempted not to have it call either function. It's a no-op. It really shouldn't execute either one. But the problem is, caller is going to depending on one of these continuations to be called, and neither one is ever going to be called. So it's going to feel like it didn't go anywhere. That's why where there's a single continuation here, you can see it's calling that continuation function. It's applying it. So yeah, it's ignoring the inbound script ID. It can ignore the successor function. We don't need to name it. I guess we can call, well, just F for F. That's fine. Fail for fail. Do not send. I'm sure they get plenty of reports. They don't need help from me. Unresolved reference, domain replica same. Don't we have it here? Domain replica same. Is that not the correct name? Turns Boolean. But, we need a suffix. Suffix, no, that's defaulted. What isn't it like? Unresolved reference. Huh? Replication same. Huh. All right, maybe a little inconsistent on the naming. Here we go. Remote get scene list is a platform function, isn't it? Get script scene list. Yeah. Get script. Get. ID's trying to help me. See, that's not helpful. Now, I do believe somebody could have built this feature a little more intelligently. I've already got the rest of the name, and I'm inserting, and I'm like, oh, tab completion, right? If I tab complete, you'd think it'd be able to parse out the rest and see that it matches, but that doesn't help me. I've already typed enough. Now I have to erase. Yeah, I'm griping. All right. It's not as readable. I just kind of. Should I go for the full-blown indent? Arrgh. God, I just don't like that. So many indents. I'm gonna redo this at some point. Kaput. Type mismatch. Okay. Oh, doesn't it take it takes an at mutant, right? AM scene list. And this one is going to be AM error string. And yeah. Remember, these are asynchronous callbacks. Unit, but at mutant was expected. It thinks it returns a unit. So we just need AM at the end. Returning the at mutant that we got. Same thing here. AM. Someday I'll explain that whole at mutant logic. Okay. So we compile. And our Android side's doing nothing, so that's fine. So it's getting us a little bit into what we want. Now we need to implement this. Remote get script scene list. So this matches the existing get scene list for script. And this is what we're going to delegate to. Oh, this wants a script, not a script. Oh, this is going to want error. See, it uses the creation date. Huh. And this one does not. It's probably part of default parameters script. I bet this literally looks almost the same. Yeah, look, script ID creation date, default parameters. Script is a script, it's a core data object. But all we need are these two fields. So rather than making a call to this, I'm going to duplicate this code. This will be the third copy of this code. Oh, the horror. It's not script ID, not script creation date, because Objective-C, every single one of these is nillable. It's a pretty straightforward call. Parameters, param success. I mean, it looks almost the same. We know this is building the same set of parameters. We know this is doing the same thing as this. It's pulling apart this core data thing. See, this is why these core data objects just get in the way, right? You've got multiple representations of the same information. You've already got it in the form of a dictionary, and then you've got this binary object representation in addition to that. So you're constantly going back and forth, right? Mapping one way, mapping the other way. ORM, object relational mapping. Or in this case, object JSON mapping, OJM. JSON was created for JavaScript because it's how JavaScript natively represents its own objects. And to force JSON into non-JavaScript languages, that is an impedance mismatch. Because these other languages say, oh, our native way of representing it, well, in Swift, it's a struct or a class, an object of a class. In Objective-C, it's a interface, properties. But you're talking to me in JSON because that's become the universal payload for network REST calls. Although what's the new thing? Protobuf, protocol buffers, right? Replacing it. But then you end up with an application code that's doing this constant mapping of its way of representing to objects from the other ways representing of objects. Yep. So do I want to copy or do I want to reuse? Script fetch. RS Network Manager. This has a different handler. So this is a success handler. Get scene lists, success handler. It's doing something here. If it does not equal nil, what is this doing? We're calling mapper. What the hell does this thing do? Map JSON to a nullable thing. I'm assuming it's going to return a dictionary. Object, return object, class init. Now this is mapping it to, yeah, this is that OJM, object JSON mapping. I don't want object conforms to mappable. See, if you just get rid of this, all this complexity goes away. All of it. It's unnecessarily layering. Objects don't really need to be binary. They can be hash maps, they can be dictionaries, informational stuff. They can stay that way. I didn't used to think that way. This is totally how I used to write code. And I'm reorienting my brain that it's a lot of added overhead, it's added cognitive load, it's added complexity, it's added maintenance, and you can see how much it just scatters throughout the code. There is a lot of OJMORM code in this application that doesn't need to exist. Am I just rationalizing my new approach? Probably. So what happens here? If it's not nil, what does this do? That doesn't, I don't get it. Let JSON equal, I mean, we have a ternary here. It's gonna equal just this dictionary or the response if it's not nil. But we just looked at it. It's going to return the object. This is really weird. Let's look at that again. It's in mapper. We have it right here. Right. Look, it's already taking a dictionary. It's already in a dictionary form. And it's producing this n type. This is or nil. If it errors, it returns nil. No, it returns nil no matter what. What? Huh? No, this is a final. Okay, this is just a fall through. We got mid-level returns here. Return object. So this is going to come back as this n, right? Well, it depends on what this is. Mappable, immutable, mappable, static mappable. Oh my God. Object for mapping, object for mapping. Yeah, polymorphism, so wonderful. Wow. But it's going to return a non-nil object that it's trying to do. But if we look at this assignment, inputs the response, mapper.map does not equal nil. Okay, we mapped it, and we're just throwing it away? Because if this is true, that it's not nil, we're just going to return a dictionary saying last updated 0. And if we couldn't map it, we're returning the response itself. And then we're mapping it again. Oh, okay. Oh, God. The generics and the polymorphism. This is saying if you mapped this and it was an error, here we go. So if this content gets mapped into this error object, and that is not nil, then you got an error. Otherwise, JSON is the response. And then now we're taking, okay, because, right, this is an optional basically, or it's it's saying you're going to get a response that's the legitimate content or you're going to get an error. And this is a way of unwrapping. This is unwrapping the tuple effectively, or not the tuple, but the union, the sum type. It's a sum type. It's either an error or it's actual object content JSON. So, wow, this is hard to read. So if it's an error, we don't do anything with the error. We lose the error. There's like, if there's content in here, it's goes into the ether. And we return this instead. Failure, parse error. So whatever error information this maps to is lost. This is discarded here. The value that comes back here goes nowhere. We're just checking it for nil. And then instead, we're pumping, this is our response. I mean, this is our JSON that gets passed down here. We try to map this to cloud scenes. It's going to fail if there's an error. So it's going to generate this, which gives us a generic error, and the actual error information is lost. It's just a test for error. Otherwise, we end up with actual data, which is our actual object, and this comes back, and that's what's returned. No, it was passed to the success handler. So the success handler in this case for get scene list is expecting a cloud scenes object. Okay. So on to the Objective-C version. Its success handler is expecting a dictionary. So this one does not convert the dictionary to an Objective-C object representation. It simply gets the dictionary. And that's what's expected over here. So we definitely don't want to use that Swift one. Right, because this passes the dictionary to this parser guy. Right. Which is what we kind of want to do. I see that the call to the scenes JSON parser, I think, is, yes, sort of not really. It's over here. This is the success handler for that call. Script fetch. Remember, this never actually makes the network call. It gets called by nobody. No, it gets called by, we did a search. My scenes parser. Yeah, it gets called by this guy, my scenes parser. It's just going to be under, nope. Blah. Swift core data. Parse. Script fetch. Cloud scene list. I almost feel like writing the Kotlin side of the network call. Dropping KTOR in, that's going to make this a much bigger task. But I'm just going to be writing duplicate code on the platform specific side. Let's do this. Let's copy this. Actually. Yeah. Well, no. Where is line synchronizer? Here we go. We're going to keep this on this side. Yeah. That's how I should have just done this from the beginning. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, but now I understand this code better. I mean, it's a learning exercise. This is years and years of code written by other people, and I've not gone through this with a fine-tooth comb. This is part of the process. It's what it means to do maintenance on other people's code. It takes a while to get familiar and understand what's going on. Okay, our platform functions. Procedures. iOS app platform. We're just going to copy this chunk in here. I think I could have. We're just going to copy this whole chunk into here. Because this is what we're taking out. So technically we're subtracting, technically we're just moving this code. We're not going to be duplicating those network calls. We're going to let it make its network call. Yeah. So let's just copy this. And we called this remote get script scene list. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have to put the full signature. That's what I was remembering last time. Without types, it's going to do type inference. Name is script ID. We're going to need to fix this just to have two strings in here. Script ID. We're going to say script date. Creation date. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put this on the next line. It's getting a little lengthy. Script creation date. Success. Failure. In. And here's our logic. We're going to convert this to Swift. Yeah. It's actually hard. Oh my God. It's hard to do braces on this International Portugal keyboard on my Mac M1, which is what I'm using. Got to use a Mac when you're doing Xcode. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to make the call. There's our success. And this is expecting the session task thing. I'm going to have to figure that out. So we're going to get it. We're going to parse it. This is the success call for that. This is going to be handler to handler to handler. Because I do need to set up the parsing and gobbledygook from here. I'm still doing this as Objective-C, and then I'm going to change it into Swift. Okay, so to change it into Swift, let's do that now. We say network manager. Oh, do we have to allocate it? Are we kidding? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Okay. We allocate a nothing. We're going to say get scene list for script. And I'm going to guess that it's going to be like that. And we're going to say script I, oh, we can't use it because, oh my God, we can't use it. We have to copy this because it's, yeah. Thought I was being so clever. I don't need the alert manager. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. We don't need scene re-review right now. God, I forgot. It wants a script object, which we don't have. So really what we're doing is we're pulling all this stuff apart. Look at this. Success takes a task. Maybe I should use a Swift instead. I'll just duplicate the logic. Yeah, I think I have to use the Swift version instead. Ah. There's the post. There's the parameters. La 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 la. Wow. Well, it's a dictionary. Yeah, this is the thing I don't care for. Oh, this is the same call? I wonder if it's the same call. Post URL, post URL. Can't be the same call. I mean, it could be. No, it's its own call in here. Takes a task. Why is this task thing needed? It looks to me like it's ignored. And we compare that to post URL over here. Where's the main guy? It's probably at the top. There we go. In this case, success takes an escaping closure with all this task stuff. Using Alamo Fire. It's like the other one doesn't use, no, the other one does use Alamo Fire because it's AF. So they both use Alamo Fire. Manager, that's probably an instance of Alamo Fire. Post versus request, method post. And I'm going to be rewriting this network code using KTOR, most likely. So I'll be doing the third rewrite of the network interface. Fun. I feel like this is cleaner. So I'm thinking, let's use that instead. It's not my scenes parser, doesn't call it. Well, where were we? Network. Scene list. Scene list. Okay. So this is what I'm going to duplicate. But I am going to make the call to the JSON, which this does not do. Okay. I'm duplicating this instead. Ah, yuck. I can't call it because I'd have to create a script object. I'm not going to do that. I do have to duplicate. This is a rewrite. This needs to be in Ktor. That's what I'm feeling. So let's try again. So, oof. Yuckity yuck yuck. So now we're at RS Network Manager. There's probably a singleton. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be something like shared, because I've seen that sort of thing before, right? It's a singleton called shared. There's an init. I'm guessing there's got to be like a shared guy through here. Come on. Oh, these are static. These functions are static. No, some of them are. Post-URL is not static. So it requires an instance. Isn't there a shared somewhere in here? Usually there is. Well, I think I've used this guy elsewhere in here. Let's see. No, not yet. Let's see if there's a shared. No. Wow. It just gets instantiated every time. That's weird. What's the overhead of instantiating this every time? There's an init. Not much, I guess. Again, another class that should just be a bunch of static functions. Although it's setting up its own, well, that's what's funny. These are not even members of this class. Does this class even have members? This class doesn't even have any members. These are just all static functions. I mean, the state is all on this Alamo Fire Session Manager. This is just saying, when I initialize, it's a preamble. Whenever you call any of my functions because you're going to allocate an instance of my object, NS object, for no good reason, I'm going to make sure that the configuration, so it's a encapsulation of what the session manager is going to keep resetting this, keep resetting this on every call. Yeah. Blah. Okay, so there is no shared. So we just instantiate a dummy object just so we can make a function call. All right, we're keeping this crap. Parameters, success. That's what our success looks like. There's a guardelet. Success to success. Okay. And this is our failure. Do I not have to specify failure? Whoa. Post-URL. Just post-URL. Success, failure. That is weird. Where was this guy? Where do we see him in script fetch? Oh, we don't even know how he's called. Oh no, we do know how he's called. We do, right? Oh, it's called in here under, I hate it when they put the generic and the specific stuff in the same place. Scene list. Yeah, he says failure. Did I not copy this correctly? Oh, that's upload. Get scene list. Yeah, that's weird. Look at that. Oh, is this the same thing that Kotlin does, where the last argument of a method is a closure? You can use this funky syntax afterwards. Well, except in Kotlin, you would get rid of the uh, they really contaminate their language with this kind of syntactic sugar that I just don't think it helps. All right, let's just do it like that. Failure is this, and then we'll put that there. That makes more sense. I don't mind when you've got short blocks, the closing Lisp style, that works fine for me. I can see indentation is sort of mapping that out for me. Okay, so here's failure, here's success. I mean, if we wanted to, we could even do that. Maybe looks a little, yeah, we can kind of see failure, success data, failure error. So in our case, our success, we have to provide the app mutant and our data. And our data, we need to call script scenes JSON here. Okay, so network manager, post URL. We're gonna have to fix this parameters thing. Yeah, that would need to get fixed. Oh, that's up here. I'm looking at it right here. Ah, this is hard to read. Okay. Parameters. Yeah, so script we don't have. It's hard to follow. Guard let else. Okay. Let parameters equals this or else failure. So here we got AM again. Networking invalid. Okay. And this is where I've got to call the JSON stuff, script fetch. Where was it? Well, this is what I'm calling this guy. Because in the end, what am I going to get? I'm going to get the dictionary. Is there a return here? Script scenes JSON. What was, oh my God. Where's the original code? It's not alert manager. Why do I keep getting that? Lines and synchronizer. Here we go. It's this. Response dictionary. And script scenes JSON is init with JSON. See what the Swift side of that looks like. Never called by Swift. Yeah, but that's what we need to use because we're duplicating this logic. So this is the alloc thing. We're not going to allocate it. We're just going to initialize it. And then we dot. Do that. I'm going to guess that's what that looks like. Response dictionary is really the data. So this one turned it into cloud scenes. I thought cloud scenes was a dictionary. This crap I don't want necessarily. Huh. RS Network Manager, AF Network Manager. This is the guy we're replacing. Script fetch. We don't care about this. Right? Isn't this irrelevant? Oh, here we go. Oh, this is just a fix I made because it was blowing its brains out. Yeah, I'm not doing this at all. Script scenes JSON, response dictionary. Response dictionary is somewhere else in here. Actually, let's go up. God, these long blocks are really hard to follow. So response dictionary is a dictionary inside server R. Server R. NS array, server array, server scenes and groups. So it's a scene. I don't think this is useful to me. Huh. Okay, back to here. We go to the network manager. We give it a script. Response dictionary. Success passes in this dictionary. Got it. So success from network manager. Where is he? Not post Euro. It's the scene lists for script. Success, success. Post Euro. Success takes dictionary, response dictionary. So the entire dictionary of the response gets parsed. That's what happens here. Get scene list for script. So whatever the entire, yeah, that gets passed here. Okay, so the entire response gets passed there. Okay, that's like making sense. So data. Kind of feel like response All right, so this error parsing, I don't think I need to do it here because it's not being done here. When it calls post URL failure, if there's an error, he's going to generate the error. This is doing like an additional but the problem is this post URL and that post URL are different. So this post URL expects an error handler to be passed, but in its success handler, they could also fail. Okay, so if there's a networking error, it's going to be trapped here. It's just going to be passed through. Status error, failure error, status is lost. That's great. But if it's successful, he's still going to try to map an error, RH error, that's different than a network error, I'm guessing. But this guy, his success, he doesn't care. As long as post URL worked, unless that post URL is doing something about that RH error thing. Now, on success, just delegates it. So R's network manager's post URL, or not post URL, but get scene list. He does some additional validation inside his success handler, gets a response back successfully from the remote, but decides to try to map, looking for this error that could have come back. So this get scene list looks for a possible error in the payload, not an error in the network call, but there's an error in the payload, and he tries to say, hey, there was an error in the payload, error state, error indicator somehow in the payload. Let's take a look at this guy. RH error. So he's looking for error information in the payload. This guy doesn't care. He says it was successful network call. I'm going to pass that to whoever the success handler is that called me. And that's, again, scene list. Scene list. What am I doing? Scene list. This guy just passes in the same success handler. So he's not doing any additional validation on this. So line sync synchronizer also not doing an additional validation beyond parsing it out here. And this will probably catch the error if there's an error. We're just going to replicate this logic. I'm not going to jump ahead and try to figure out what this RH error thing is. Well, rehearsal, obviously, rehearsal error. But this is saying the network call succeeded, but I'm now handling potential errors in the payload. So potentially the server had some kind of reason why it failed, and I've got to deal with that. This call never catches that, or this line sync synchronizer never catches that. So I am kind of using older code that's not looking for newer errors if I take this route. Maybe I shouldn't jump ahead. There's a reason why this was added in the Swift code, which is newer. For this, getting the scene list, looking for a potential error. I could call this function directly, but I have to create this core data script object for it to pull apart these parameters. I don't want to do that. I could refactor this into a standalone function that I reuse. I hate duplicating this. Because I'm just going to end up doing this again. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at the difference here. This isn't even consistent. In the case of getSceneList, I'm looking for error code and error string, error code or error string somewhere in the JSON. So I'm going through this mappable. But here, I'm looking for error code directly. And then I'm throwing a failure. In both cases, I'm looking for errors. Upload scene, we're not looking for errors. Upload line. But getSceneList. List last updated 0. I'm gonna match this for now. Yeah, I'm gonna match this for now. And we're gonna copy this. Yeah. I'm just going to copy that. That'll take care of our parameters. Just put it right in there. I'll take care of this crap. Look at that. It's literally trying to catch an error because the script didn't have the fields that it wanted. We don't need that. Script ID, script creation date, success, failure, in. Post URL, get list, parameters, response. Not going to do this. Not doing this. Response. Seeing where this is used in the code that's being rewritten here. Do I need this, or can I just treat it as JSON? I might not need this. What do we get? When we call script scenes JSON, it just creates a JSON property with the dictionary. That's it. That's it. I don't think I need that. I think I can deal with the JSON directly. I can skip that whole thing. It's a dictionary. Already converted. I don't think I need this. I think it's as simple as so we're just delegating. We've got partial application here. This is truly partial application. Not really. I think I can do this. Maybe it's as simple as that. All right. Remote get script scene list. It's a method. I'm sorry. It's a procedure. It's a platform procedure. Here's a lambda. Takes app mutant, script ID, script creation date, success and failure, continuations. Calls post URL, get list, provides the necessary key information here. So we see exactly what's happening. So we're kind of just going straight out. I might be able to generalize this. I mean, what's being parameterized here? The keying identification, the keys. We get a response, we get an error, and the URL. That's it. It's just a get. Maybe I can just generalize the get. Kind of like that idea. Then I've moved more of the stuff onto the Kotlin side. I don't want to abstract away the JSON API here. It's going to be moved over to Kotlin anyway. I can abstract it on that side. So really, this just looks like a remote post. Should I say REST? REST post? I mean, REST. Where else do we use REST? It is a REST call. It's an HTTP verb, HTTP method. Let's just say remote. Remote post. And if I just change this to parameters, if I say URL parameters, I mean, I've generalized this for the platform for all the calls I want to make. Why don't I just do that? I'm kind of liking this idea. Yeah, I don't need to make specific functions for everything for now. So I'm going to make a network call here. Asynchronous network call. Should I say async? Well, I have continuations. That's implied. Yeah, remote post. That's what I'm thinking. Should I say fetch? It's not really a get, it's a post. I don't know why we're using the post method. Remote fetch. It's a way to generalize get versus post. Let's keep it as post for now. So here is where we take these parameters Yeah, I may have just generalized all the network calls I want to make from here. If it's that simple, let's just make it that simple. All right. This is our URL. Obviously, we're going to copy this constant over. And remote post parameters. I don't believe I have to provide that. So this is a list of, or map of. Isn't it 2? I forget. It's not 2. It's what is it? It's not 2. What is it in here? I have it in here, right? Replica remote dictionary plus suffix as string is the comparison. Where do I actually say provide the strings? I forget. I'm just making a dictionary. I'm just making a map string to any. I thought it was 2. I forget how to do this. Maybe it'll do it correctly once I'm in there. Probably not. It's probably not 2. It's oh well. Script ID I don't need. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is the closure. Success and failure. This is success. All right, so I'm gonna have to do this long indent. I guess I could say success. I don't think so though, because there is no named argument. It's unnamed. I'm sure you all hate me for unnaming it. Okay. Yeah. And this is failure. Well, this is taking a while, but I think I may have generalized how I'm going to do network calls until I drop in a platform independent KTOR solution. It's not 2. It's not 2, is it? What is it? What is it? Where else do I have dictionaries? I have dictionaries somewhere. Come on, come on. This is a problem with jumping syntaxes all over the place. Where else do I have dictionaries? Where else do I have dictionaries? Somewhere I've got dictionaries. What is it? What is it? Oh God. Do I have to search the web? That is a weakness. I thought it was 2. Well, let's see how I get screamed at. First, let's add an app value for the for get list. Jump to definition. All right, get list is base. Where's base? Base is this plus host. Da 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 da. Why would you need host more than once here? Yeah, unnecessary. Unless this is referenced somewhere else, it might be. Let's just copy that. All right, and then the other guy, get list. We can make these 2 separate values. I'm okay with that. Okay. App value, remote URL. Base. Oops. Let me just put that in there. Do we need a slash? I think we need a slash. Yep. There we go. Remote URL get scene list. Notice how these are functions. I'm still debating whether or not in a programming language that's a functional programming language, I don't think constants are needed at all. I think they can be functions. The compiler and the interpreter can optimize away the function call because it's immutable. It's an immutable result. That's a simple result. But syntactically, it's lambda calculus. Everything is a function. Even a value is a function. Kind of like this idea, making the semantics and syntax of the language even more reduced. I'm testing that out here by basically making my constants functions, right? This may actually be a function call because Kotlin Kotlin's a compiled language. The optimizer could easily go through this and go, oh, look, these functions do nothing but return constant values. I can map any function call to the address of a constant value stored in the code segment. Done. So from a programming standpoint, everything's a function, but it's optimized. It's not called. There's no arguments. I kind of like that idea. All right, so remote URL get seamless, remote URL base. It's called prefix. Suffix. Oh, now we got to indent everybody. Indent everybody. I like things to line up. Unless it gets too wide. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Back to... Okay. What was the name of it? I forget. Whoop. Whoop. I don't mind doing a string concatenation here. It's not a bottleneck. Makes that line kind of long though, doesn't it? It's fine. All right. Remote post. Oh, we need to change the definition of the function here. So we're just going to call this remote post. We're going to generalize this. I might have to make specific platform functions in other cases, but here I can get away with just having at mutant string URL parameters. Okay, let's put it on the same line. Parameters is simple dictionary. Say URL comma parameters. Success failure. Okay. So we ignore the URL. We ignore the parameters. Ignore the success function. I'm not even going to add the Android side because this default will take care of that. And there is no Android implementation. I don't really need to go in and do that. I have been doing that. I've been going into the Android side and adding placeholders, but I don't need to because there's default. See how this is actually, these are actually implemented. These are not. And in theory, if I end up using Ktor, which I may or may not, if I don't use Ktor, which it by itself is providing its own platform independent abstraction, and I delegate through just a set of functions here, like post, get, they're probably all posts. I think all most of the back end are posts. I don't know if there are any deletes or updates. Doesn't seem to be any get. Seems like post is the universal backend call. So this might just take care of the platform networking. I could literally just implement this on the Android side, you know, using retrofit or whatever. I don't even have to go to Ktor. I've essentially abstracted network calls here. So let's just see how this ends up. Be interesting to see if this works. Okay, what is it not like? Oh, the AM. Let's put the AM on this line. Let's indent it. I don't like lines that wrap too much. All right, prefix, suffix. Yeah, those are kind of long names. That's fine. It's kind of not like my maplet declaration. It's like, oh, maybe it is two. I usually it would highlight that, right? I would see this as yellow. Script creation date. Yeah, I need that. All right, so the burden is on the caller to pass those guys in. Script ID, script creation date. Of course, I could pass it in from the other side. Well, replicate line set's getting called. It's getting called by the OS side. No, I'd rather keep it. Yeah, I'd rather not be doing the dictionary from that side. Let's just keep it like that. Replicating the line set, we're saying, look, in this case, I need script IDs. let's put the line set first though. Kind of like that. Replicate line set. Give me script IDs. Yeah. Additional information required plus a completion. So I was right, it is 2. Okay. I could swear though I saw in Android Studio that this would get highlighted into yellow. Creates a tuple. Yeah, map with less noise. Yeah, all right. Hey, what do you know? I remembered something. All right, so if this works, we're going to get scene list. Really, actually, what we're going to get is dictionary. I mean, I could say scene list dictionary. I mean, I don't know for sure that we've got the dictionary, but we're just going to say dictionary because that's what we're getting. We're asking for the scene list and we're getting a dictionary. We don't even know that it's the scene list yet. That's what all this parsing stuff's going to do. For now, I'm going to, what does replicate do? Present HUD downloading. Okay. So when this completes, it's going to stop downloading. So instead of putting that shuttering here and completion false, yeah, present info dialog. Huh. I wonder if I could flatten that map. That would be interesting. Just for fun, let's do that. It's a way of testing this since I can't really set breakpoints on Kotlin. I mean, I don't know, there's maybe a way to do it, but just for laughs, I'm going to say present info dialog. Scene list. And can I flatten it? Is there a flat? There's a flat map. It's a map. What I want to do is reduce it. Let's just, well, can I two-string it? I don't know if it's going to do that. This is kind of like a diagnostic post. Let's do that. It's kind of showing me the diagnostic. And let's get rid of present info dialog error. That's going to be if it fails. True, it started a replication. Completion is going to be true or false. So let's take care of these guys. So we start a replication. When we come back, it doesn't matter whether we error or not, our downloading is going to get terminated. In the case of an error, we're going to show the error. So here we're going to say error string. I might need to say network error, but we'll see what happens. And the return is, yeah, okay. We're going to shutter HUD. We're going to complete false. Yeah, that all makes sense. Now, the way I do the AMs here, I'm going to do a let. Yeah, dot let. Because I have to chain the app mutants into each other. This completion is going to provide an app mutant, which I'm going to do a let. We'll let again. AM. Not using the app mutant here. That's kind of weird. That seems weird. It's my completion not take an app mutant. It takes a Boolean. Huh. I think I need to fix this. So here I call platform function to shutter. I pass in the app mutant. I get back an app mutant. I don't need this let. Goes like that. So I pass the app mutant to shutter HUD. The app mutant I get back. Completion doesn't take an app mutant. This app mutant passes present info dialog with the app mutant, and it's going to return an app mutant. And I don't do this. Result false, error string, it's completion false. I print the error myself, and I'm out of there. That makes sense? All right, for success, I'm just going to show it, but I'm still going to do a false completion. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Present info dialog. I copy exactly the same logic, but I'm not going to show an error. I am going to say completion false because I don't want it to think it succeeded. And I am not going to present an error dialog. It didn't really complete successfully. We're just going to do that. Actually, we're just going to do completion then AM or let. Completion AM. This should really be passed app mutant and return app mutant because we never know what it's going to do. I don't know if I'm going to keep that whole app mutant thing. We're going to find out. Should do the one let here. Maybe like do it like that. I think it's better formatted the other way. Really, it should be formatted like this. Kind of looks like AM is feeding completion, but it's not because completion's not using it. Let's put a to-do in there. Use app mutant. Same thing here. Let's do this the same way. And then AM. Didn't quite line up, but and all this crap we need to end in. Oof. Okay. Ah. Two-string expected. Oh, I guess I didn't like that. So Swift has this nice description thing on a dictionary. Two-string. Oh, maybe that does work. I just didn't give it that. That's what I needed. All right. Who knows if any of this is going to work? Now the replicate line set's going to fail because it's going to need 2 arguments it doesn't have. So compiler's going to catch that over here. Oh, this is a long one. How long have I been recording? Over 2 hours. Having fun watching? Anybody still there? Probably not. That's okay. Yeah, there's our missing parameters. All right, replicate line set. We need a script ID. Script ID. And we need a script creation date. Script creation date. And where do we get these from? Shared replicate line set. Oh, these have to be passed in. These have to be passed in. Usually when I do this, I like to do this. I don't know why I didn't format it that way. These have to be passed in. These are strings. Burp, burp. So script ID, script, creation date. Really not a fan of lots of parameters. Okay. Script creation date, script creation date. Now it's starting to get a little long. A little long in the tooth. Let's make them all in this, each of them have their own line. Script creation. So now that would be a nice language feature where when you've got redundant naming pass-through, that you could just pass it in directly. But this is a requirement because this is calling out to the Objective-C generated header for the Kotlin methods. And these parameter names are required. And we're going to need this in the facade. There we go. All right. Same difference. Can I just copy? Should be able to just copy. Whoop, bop, 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 bop. Boom. I like not having to actually require the parameter. It can just be passed in. Okay. And now we're getting another error where we need to call this function from Objective-C. Yeah, missing parameters. Shutter HUD. What? Did not like my implementation of remote post. URL parameter success failure in. I believe this is going to return an app mutant. AM. Oh, I have to say return. Do I have to say return? Can it just be returned? Forget about Swift. I think I have to say return. Looks like I've got some out of balance stuff here. Yeah. Cannot find script ID. Oh, yeah. 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 What am I doing? I don't need any of that. URL parameters. How about if we put this up here? Is that okay? It's a little ugly. Is that ugly? Kind of ugly? All right, AM. I think I have to say return AM. I think I still have to say return AM. Let's try return. And actually, let's bring this over. I really feel like I need to indent so much. Remote post. Oh, this looks even better like this. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I guess I can put this back here and not lispifying my indentation. It's a little more readable. See, that's correct. Are we correct? Parameters in call. Oh, I got to pass URL, don't I? And I have to pass parameters, don't I? Oh, that's annoying. Okay, now we'll put it on the next line. Okay, label URL. But you don't need it for the first parameter. That's okay. Well, let's put it back on the other line. Post URL parameters. This is so stupid. It's that Objective-C thing where the first parameter is unnamed. Okay. Yep. Script ID. Script creation date. Oh, now our line's getting very rappy. Very rappy. Let's do it like that. Is it going to work? It's not going to work. There we go. Here we go. Replicate line set. Now we have to say script ID. And we need to say script creation date. And now we need to pass them in as arguments. Wow, these things just need to get passed down. I guess this is the logic for shoving it into the dictionary. I mean, that would be convenient, right? That's why the core data object does that. Shoves it into the dictionary. I mean, we're passing in a dictionary. Thinking about that. It's not really first normal form though. It's a back pointer from line set to script and its creation date. Let's just keep passing it in and see how messy it gets. It might get too messy. I could see making a case. What do I have to say? In a string? Pointer? Script ID? Is that the damn syntax? Looks like that, right? You have a bunch of parameters in Objective-C. Yeah. Yeah. Yuckity yuck yuck. Where was it? Let's just recompile. See there, we've got the script somewhere up here. Don't we? Don't we? Where's my script? Actually, I don't think I need to pass these in as arguments. Now we can take advantage of the objectification here, because I believe that script, current script, is a member. Is it? Script, current script, right? We're inside line scene reader view. It should have script or current script, something like that. Let's try current script and see what it says. See if it does that. No current script. There's something in here where we're carrying the script around. Somewhere we get the script. Set up, there we go, underscore. There's an underscore, okay. Script ID, I bet, is used in here too. Script ID, no. But I do have an underscore. I could cheat. Okay. What do I have? ID? Script ID? What is current script? It's this core data object. We haven't gotten rid of the core data object, so current script's going to be script. It's going to be in core data. I can't look up with Xcode because it doesn't know. It's going to question mark me on anything Objective-C. Core data properties going to be in here. Script. Right, that's scene group. Where are we? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, .h. Shoo, script ID underscore, and then it's a string. Creation date underscore string. There we go. I think that'll work. Ooh, getting there, getting there. Let's compile. Just give me the error. Give me the error again. There we go. Okay. Script ID, script creation date. I think it's like all lowercase or something. Is it? Or is it a camel? It's a camel, right? What? What are you talking about? Replicate line set. It's on the shared script creation date. I see it. I see it. Oh, I don't have to prefix. I don't have to prefix. I took care of that. Yeah, see, because I can see that it's a script ID and I can see that it's the creation date. Can I do that? No, I can't. I can't do that. No, all these subsequent. But I thought script ID worked. I thought it was script creation date it didn't like. Let's try again. Script ID. It's okay with script ID. It doesn't like script creation date. Did I get this wrong? Oh, that's where yeah, I forgot. It's creation underscore date. I bet that fixes it. No. Ah. Oh, it's the commas. Is it the commas? Is it the commas? No. Oh my God. Ugh. What doesn't it like? What do you not like? Why do you hate me? Script creation date. Do I have to put it on the facade? Do I have to say that? Do I have to double it? Actually, I don't need the maybe I do that. Do I do that? Is that okay? What? Oh, this is the build getting confused. Let's clean it. Let's clean the build folder. Cache and validation is the hardest thing in software other than naming. Build cache's state got out of whack. That's what I'm assuming. Kotlin syntax, Objective-C syntax, Swift syntax. Boom, bitty boom, bitty boom, bitty boom. It still doesn't like this. Oh, yeah. No? What the F? Is there a misspelling here? What the hell is going on? That's the same. Why can't I do that? What's the deal here? Let's look at these other facades I have, domain. Yeah, the first argument has an underscore parameter name. Second one, remote, not local. What am I missing? What am I missing? Script ID, line set, script ID string, script creation date, string, completion. These I don't need to pass parameters. I can just go ba 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 ba. Why do you hate me? What's messed up here? I mean, what is the explanation? It's acting like it's a type. Expected. Replicate line set, script ID, script creation date, completion. I don't get it. What if I get rid of this line? Are we dealing with another compiler bug? No, it can't be. There's no way there's a compiler bug that basic. Just get rid of that line. See what it complains about. Yeah, it doesn't see completion. Script creation date. It's a string. Is this a string? Of course not. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. It's a string. I saw it in here. Where is it? Scene group? No. 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 There. Creation date. String property. Script ID. String property. What is the effing problem? I don't get it. Can't be the spaces. This can't be the spaces, right? Tell me it's the spaces. No. I'm having a hard time seeing this problem. I don't get it. I don't get it. Something messed up here. It's fine with script ID, but as soon as I get more than one, let's try this. So double the parameters. Extraneous duplicate parameter name. So this doesn't help. If I do that, I don't get it. This is weird. So this was fine. This was totally fine. This is what we had before. Okay, I can build that, no problem. It's a static function on a Swift class that has an Objective-C annotation. If I add an additional parameter named, it barfs. How can that be? Because there's more than one? I don't get it. Should give me a compile error. Yeah, no method for completion. Why wouldn't it care about script ID? Wow, this is bizarre. This is really weird. Let's try getting rid of completion and including script ID. And I mean, it's going to complain about this, but let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's just copy that. There's something I'm not getting here. This is takes a bool, returns a nothing. It's a bool to nothing. So let's do that. Bn nothing. What? What? What am I missing? What's going on? Oh. Oh. Oops. Okay, this is really weird. Okay, this is really weird. One extra argument. If I put two extra arguments, you're telling me it has a problem with this? Suddenly, I've got a problem because I've got too many arguments? Explain this to me. This compiler bug. I found one in Kotlin. Am I going to find one in Swift? What? This makes no sense. Wow, look at that. This is a compiler bug. I'm using the latest Xcode and the latest Swift. Suddenly, if I have an Objective-C with multiple, no method for selector script ID, this compiler is broken. How do you ship this? How does the richest company, one of the richest companies in the world, ship a broken compiler? What am I missing? This cannot be. This is crazy. This is just crazy. Do I have to make a case where an Objective-C function, more than two parameters, and suddenly parameters 3 and 4 are broken? I mean, what is the difference between this really, what is this difference? This compiles, script ID, current script, it's a string. This compiles and runs. I put in one more parameter, identical type of name. Is there a name collision in here? No, one match. No, because it doesn't matter which one I do. I mean, I could just call this yuck. Use of undeclared identifier. Okay. Let's call it yuck. Suddenly I add an additional parameter and the compiler can't deal with it. Explain this to me. It's the comma. It's the comma. Oh my God. But I thought I removed the commas. Okay, it's not a compiler bug. It's my misunderstanding. All right, let's go back to what we had. So it's the commas. That's what was throwing it off. Let's do that. Script ID. script completion. Well, it's not a bug in the compiler, but it's a shit compiler because it couldn't tell me there was a problem with the commas. It acted like there was some weird identifier problem. Yeah, okay. Not impressed. Am I just complaining unreasonably here? Yeah, I should have understood the syntax better. But the fact that it couldn't tell me that it was a comma problem, like you're telling me this is going to compile, right? So I don't have any commas. Separator. Where? Okay, comma needed in Swift, comma not needed in Objective-C. All right, my lack of understanding, I take the blame. Boom. Now, I fixed the comma problem. See, here we go. What the hell? Replicate line step, script ID, script creation date, completion. That's the signature it's looking for based on this. And did I misspell it again? Script completion date. My bad. Okay, this is going to compile, right? Okay, I need to take a break. Now to compile. Now it compiles. Okay, my bad. But I want to say that if I put a comma in here, the compiler can't tell me don't put commas in there. It says undeclared identifier expected that. Not, I had to really rework the syntax before it would tell me there's not a comma. Okay, so my fault for not knowing the syntax, compiler's fault for not being able to tell me I don't know the syntax. That is a stupid parsing thing. I just hope that I don't write a compiler as bad as that. That's all I gotta say. Let's line those up. All right. Wow. Headache. Kotlin one was real though. Kotlin one, that's really a glitch. I really found that. Okay, I don't care about that. Let's keep going. All right, where are we? We're going in here. We're going in here. All right, so we make the call. Replicate line set. Let's go. Show look hide. We know that works. And it failed. Downloading. Okay, doesn't seem like it made the network call. Let's see what's going on. All right, we don't care about that. We know that works. We don't need this. We know that works. What we don't know about is remote post. Let's see if that happens. Should happen. Oh, it wouldn't happen if it never gets here. So it says downloading and doesn't stop. Not domain replication, same. Oh, but domain replication is the same. The problem is the internals. Okay, I just want to test the call, because that's not the problem. We're just changing the logic for now so this executes. All right. Oof. We should see the post. Should come in here. I should do something with the status here. Okay, we know we're getting there. That's fine. Delete breakpoint. Go. All right, there's our post. Let's see what happens. Oh, we get a response. Completion is called. So we called the completion, which happens in failure. Must have happened in failure because we didn't shutter the, well, we shuttered the HUD probably. Well, this, we did not shutter the HUD here. We need to shutter the HUD. We shutter the HUD here because we got an error. We need to shutter it up above as well. The info dialog is probably delayed. There we go. Look at that. Ha ha ha. That's what we wanted. Post get scene list, groups, script ID, da 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 da. Okay. All right. Well, made a little bit of progress. I'm going to shutter the HUD though up above. Yeah, this is our success handler. And we're gonna, whoops. Huh. What's going on? What's going on? Yank. Right. Paste. There we go. Oh, this becomes a let. I don't like you indenting. Stop doing that. Up. I'm not a fan of this formatting. Doesn't quite line up, does it? I don't like that. Shutter the HUD, show us the dialog. Completion will be false. We'll be out of here. Yeah, okay. There we go. Do. All right. Wow. Dinner time. Dinner time's coming up. We're getting code moved over to Kotlin. That's the goal. It's slow. It's going slow. Momentum, man. I need to get some momentum going. All right. It will shutter. We know that works. Delete that breakpoint. Don't need that anymore. Yep, we hit that completion. Look, we got our stuff. Post the dialog, but it doesn't open. So kind of cool. I click on that. Do we get different ones? Should get different ones. Does that look different? Oh, this is the scene list. This is going to be all the scenes in the one script because we're doing a query on just the script. So that's cool. Let's look at a different script. Let's go with this guy. And we get a different scene list. So the toString works. That's cool. All right. Oh, yeah. It's a slow slog. Let's fix this back to the way it should be. Now, what that's going to mean is if it doesn't do this, it needs to shutter. So this logic is just dealing with the top. Now we need to deal with the bottom. So to do, implement, analyzing line sets. Now this is the line set, analyzing line scenes, analyzing lines themselves. And because we're not doing that, we're gonna shutter. This needs to be there needs to be an else here. Yeah, need to actually do that. Turn AM. Let me do. Yeah, this is not good here. There needs to be a let here. That's fine, but there needs to be a let here. Worry about it later. Need let and this probably doesn't make sense to anybody, but it will at some point when I talk about the app mutant. I'm still an experiment. I'm not sure the app mutant is going to be the sane way to do this. And let's get rid of the else. Yeah. So this is one of the problems with, common code callbacks. So callback, if it does this, is going to go on to do line scenes. If it doesn't do this, it's also going to go on to do line scenes. And that's why line scenes is its own function here. And this has to happen in both places. So there's an else there, and there's a completion on success in both places. All right, those are to-dos for next time. I'm done. Oh, 3 hours. It's gonna be a long video. It's unedited stuff. I think I need to edit at some point. I think at the end of all this raw recording, I may make a single video where I collapse it all down and just show the highlights of this process, then my brain wanderings as I go through this. But if you enjoy watching, I'm happy to have you along for the ride. I don't think you need to see me commit. Nothing new there. So we're down to 3 hours, 2 hours, 59 minutes. That's a long time. I wish you the best of luck.